Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Pat. This is gonna be a quick tutorial on becoming a full stack DevOps AI engineer, all right? By the end of this, you're gonna be a whole wizard, all right? Casting spells on your own, it's just flying out there, all right? So like and subscribe if you like what you see. I appreciate you, I hope you appreciate me. Let's jump right in. All right, the first thing you need to do is go to Start and click on Terminal, all right? Just like I have on my screen. That's where we're gonna start. So I'm just gonna assume because you watch me, you're awesome, you like to use Windows, and if you like to use Linux, that's okay too, and Mac. But if not, and you're like me, and you're awesome, you need to install WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, and that lets you have Linux inside Windows, and it's great for development. Okay, so that's step one if you're not already a Linux Mac user, okay? So next time you open your terminal, you'll probably still see PowerShell. You can see mine's purple, it's Ubuntu. So you click that down arrow, and you'll see like your different options, and now Ubuntu is like one of your options. You can change the default, that's not too important here. You might want to do that in VS Code later, but we'll get into that in just a bit. So this is going to be sort of like your first time updates and then also Git. You really need Git. So you can do commits, pushes, merge requests, all of that, right? Collaborate. Become a real wizard, all right? All right, now that Git is set up, you need to set up your credentials, right? So to make sure you get credit on your GitHub commits and all that, you need to set up the config right here, so very, very important. But in order to make Git commits with your digital signature, you need authentication, right? So how do we do that? We're gonna use SSH. So this is how you create an SSH key. So when you generate the key, it'll prompt you like this. You'll see this on your screen. Just press enter for defaults, that's fine. So you'll run this command, it creates sort of a background process that adds the agent, and then you run another command that reads the SSH key that was generated. You'll copy and paste that full thing, and you'll go to your GitHub account, you go to settings, and there's an SSH sort of area, and you'll put your key there, right? And that'll sort of link them together, and you'll be good to go. Here's the commands to install my two top programming languages, node.js and TypeScript. So here's the commands, pretty simple. This step is just going to configure NPM a little bit better to save you some headaches, okay? So don't worry too much about it. All right, so to really get building, you need an interactive development environment, an IDE to code on, right? And the most popular one is VS Code. So you don't need to be in the terminal here. You can go to Google and go to VS Code download, and it should pop up. All right, so these are the two trickiest sort of steps, but they're very, very important. If you want to deploy anything, go beyond localhost, you need a provider of some sort, maybe like AWS. So this is the command line interface, and you need to install this, okay? So some of you might get stuck on this step where it says type AWS configure, and then it asks you for an access key and a secret access key, and maybe you don't have one. So how do I get one, Pat? Well, go to my old video, create a root account, create an administrative account, then turn on MFA, very, very important, and then create your access key and your secret access key. Now these are very, very sensitive. They give you programmatic access to AWS, right? I shouldn't have access to them. No one should have access to them, only you. You can deactivate them, make new ones, rotate them, all that. Maybe we'll do a whole tutorial on it later, okay? But there's tons of guides out there. I'm sure you can take care of it. If you want to go beyond localhost, be a real wizard, deploy resources, you're gonna need a cloud like AWS. This is how you set it up, all right? So one more AWS step, we need CDK. This is the Cloud Development Kit. This lets you use programming languages like TypeScript, JavaScript, Python to deploy resources, right? It's a lot better than being forced to use CloudFormation templates, I'll tell you that. And then if you've never used CDK in your account before, and I'm sure you haven't because you're watching this tutorial, you need to bootstrap it. So this is how you bootstrap it. It's a one-time thing. It's like prerequisites for using CDK in that account. And what do you know? It's time to install Cloud Code, all right? So here's the command, pretty simple. You need an account, maybe a subscription. I think there's some free queries you get every day, I'm not sure, but I pay for it, so it's hard for me to remember. But yeah, this is how you set it up, pretty straightforward. All right, so now we're in VS Code, open it up, and everything's set up now, so let's jump right in. I'm gonna go to Terminal, I'm gonna go to New Terminal, and you can see mine's WSL, yours might still be PowerShell, right? So how do we fix that? Well, you're gonna do Control-Shift-P, and then click on Terminal, select Default Profile, and then click on Ubuntu. And now next time you click plus here, or go to terminal here, it'll open up WSL, all right? So now you're all set up. All right, now we're at the fun part. We're in VS Code, we have everything set up, we can start a project. So let's just make a folder. I'm gonna do make directory, mkdir, and I'm gonna do Pat's projects. And then I'm gonna cd into there. And then I can type in Cloud or Cloud Code, and it'll start. Right, so pretty amazing. It's gonna ask me for permissions. Do you trust the files in this folder? Yes, I do. And I can say, you know, build me a static S3 hosted website distributed by CloudFront, write it in CDK using TypeScript. And in just a few moments, we'll have a static hosted website, and I can actually deploy it using CDK. So yeah, pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a part 2 where I can actually build a project in front of you all, and you can kind of learn spells a little faster, but I would just set up all the tools, get your environment ready, and jump right in. That's how I learned, and I think learning by doing is the best. So I'll see you guys later to the next tutorial.